Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member. It looks like I'm batting cleanup. I think Dr. Kennedy and myself were saved to last to treat any pressure ulcers or blood clots that might have developed here. Well, thank you. I really appreciate Chairman Graves giving me my fellow Missourian the opportunity to serve on this extremely important committee. I represent Missouri's 3rd District, which was the birthplace of the interstate system, a stretch of Highway 70 in my home county of St. Charles back in 1956. And, I-70 is one of the major arteries of our nation, and I'm happy to say that last year in 2024, Governor Mike Parson signed a bill by the legislature to invest $2.8 billion in the span of I-70 between Blue Springs and Wentzville, Missouri. But what Missouri didn't do was invest in the 25 miles that are in St. Charles County, again, my home county, which includes a critical bottleneck in Wentzville, Missouri. So I wanted to ask you, Ms. Galisa, you mentioned in your testimony the importance or the detriment of bottlenecks to Home Depot. Did you want to expand on that, or have you quantified that problem in many ways? Because obviously Missouri's 3rd District isn't unique there.
So a group called the American Transportation Research Institute, they have done an amazing study very recently on congestion in general, and they always do an annual report on the 100 most congested areas based on trucking. But their congestion study was one of the first to try and calculate how much of an impact that has on the economy. And in 2022, the per-hour operating cost soared by 21.6% from a then record to now a new record high of $90.78. So the cost to the nation of congestion is about $108 billion in 2022, which is 15% higher than 2021. So these figures are staggering. The list of the top congested areas right now, I have in front of me the top 5, Fort Lee, New Jersey, 2 in Chicago, 1 in Houston, and 1 in Atlanta, which we like to call Spaghetti Junction in Atlanta. Those would be where I would make sure that we maybe start with investments, because those are the ones that are going to impact the majority of trucking across our country. And the more that they're sitting and waiting, the less efficient, the less money they make, and the more it's going to cost the consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there, and I'm committed to working on that issue.
Right.
And Mr. Shulgin, my last question, in a response to Representative Baggage's question, he asked the question, if I understood him correctly, did the Infrastructure Improvement and Jobs Act contribute to inflationary pressures? And I have to say, I agree with you. It wasn't that bill, but rather COVID, or rather I would say the government's response to COVID. Between stimulus checks, ARPA, the Inflation Reduction Act, I think the resulting decrease in workforce participation, and of course horrific supply chain issues, all were enormous inflationary pressures, not our investment in infrastructure. But I think what you said later on in response to another question, the key is going to be to get people back to work. And I think we talked a lot about training here, but I also think measures such as work requirements, which in the 1992 Welfare Reform Act did contribute to getting people back to work. I think getting both skilled people and folks with less skills, entry-level workers, back to work are going to be a big part of the equation. Any comments on that?
No, I agree with you. We can train, and we can push through vocational schools, and that's fine. But I'll tell you that, well, as you well know, the real world hits you the day that you left school.
Amen.
And got a job, right?
For sure.
So same thing applies here as well.
For sure.
And so I will say that we have OJT programs, or on-the-job training programs, which help sort of incentivize or add to or supplement, I think, a lot of those programs that we can continue to invest in. And
I really do think getting people onto that first rung of the job ladder, the economic ladder is critical. Thank you all for coming, and thank you very much. I yield back.